questions, I will close the link. Okay? And then give you time to finish later. Okay. Let's get ready for the second discussion. Something is wrong with my video. My video setting is on, pero dili ko galugwa. Do you see me, by the way?
No, ma'am.
No? Not the issue. I'm not sure what the issue is, but let's just proceed, huh? So just bear with me if you can't see me.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. So let's continue with the second discussion. So this is more on maintenance. You see the screen? People, do you see the screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So some useful phrases in conversations at work. So first, we'll talk about, or we will listen to recordings that involve maintenance in the workplace.
Someone has reported a fault. This model's designed for heavy use. It's usually very reliable. I'd like to go over the list of jobs. We might need to extend the shut. We need to reduce our downtime. There have been too many unplanned shutdowns. We need to establish routine maintenance procedures. It's a crucial part of our process. We try to replace components before they fail or wear out. When was it serviced? How often do you service the vans? We can give the engines a major overhaul. We strip down the engine and replace the faulty component.
I understand that some of your internet is not that fast, so ang audio nasa inyo on your end. So don't worry, I will repeat the audio maybe thrice this time, just to make sure you get everything. Okay? Repeating now.
Someone has reported a fault. This model's designed for heavy use. It's usually very reliable. I'd like to go over the list of jobs. We might need to extend the shut. We need to reduce our downtime. There have been too many unplanned shutdowns. We need to establish routine maintenance procedures. It's a crucial part of our process. We try to replace components When was it serviced? How often do you service the vans? We can give the engines a major overhaul. We strip down the engine and replace the faulty component.
Can you hear me okay? People, do you hear me okay?
Ma'am?
Do you hear me okay? Or hinay akong tingo?
Hinay, ma'am.
Hinay? Yung sa fix the bebe? Hinay na akong tingo.
Ma'am, we're using 3 devices po here in our house because my classmates are here po, and all of the devices that we are using is hinay jud imong tingog, ma'am.
How about now? Okay na akong tingog karon? Hinay gyapon.
Hinay gyapon, ma'am.
How about now? So na.
Hinay gyapon, ma'am.
Ano ba ni? Kaganiha pa ni? Since nag-discuss ko or karon lang bago?
Ganina ra actually, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Ganina ra, ma'am.
Next time you inform me, ha? I mean, at the onset para I'll change my headset. Wait lang. Pansak ba ni? Ako mic? Ada? Check again. Hinay daw dito ko. Okay, so bayad sa nila? How about now, class?
Loud and clear, ma'am.
Much clearer, ma'am.
Ma'am, that's better.
Busog na?
Yes, ma'am.
Nasa ma'am.
Ha? Sorry. Busog na? Hinay gyapon.
Clear na,
Busog
ma'am.
na, ma'am.
Busog na?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Better, ma'am.
Jesus and Mary, Puyawan sa taan ni. Okay, so where was I? Just for Lord. Okay, how about the audio kaganiha? Okay na to nga gi-repeat na ko twice na may nakuha adto or hinay gyapon putol-putol gyapon. Or hinay gyapon.
Busog, ma'am. Pero wala man ang
Butol-butol.
Ah, okay.
network,
Sige,
ma'am.
sige. Yeah. Let's try the other
recording. Ano na lang, we will still continue to listen and then discuss ang naghihapon, but I will upload the audio sa ako ang drive and then let you listen. So maka-listen din mo on your own diya sa inyong balay. But I will close the link at 8 p.m. Okay? So ma-make sure nato nga ang nag-work on ani kay kanirag yung nito nga sa klase because this is quiz already. Dili ni siya katong activity lang nato unlike the previous week. So kani siya recorded, gini siya grade affecting ni siya. So ang maka-answer gyud dapat ani kay kaning naa sa Zoom class because of course unfair man sad sa inyo ha, di ba? So I will close the link sa Google Drive and the katong link sa Google Form at 8 p.m. Okay? Yes? Good for everyone? Okay,
Thank you, ma'am. Okay, ma'am.
Sige,
Ma'am,
sige.
thank you, ma'am.
So let's continue. So the next audio that we will be listening to, these are sample dialogues that involve minor faults, uses, common problems, or jobs to do.
A minor fault.
Hi. Someone has reported a fault on one of your copiers.
That's right. I'm glad you're here. It hasn't been working properly for the last few days.
When was it serviced?
Just a couple of weeks ago. It's usually very reliable.
What's actually wrong with it?
Well, it's making a strange noise when we try to change paper trays.
I'm sure it's nothing serious. Probably just a minor fault. I'll have a look at it.
Light or heavy use?
I've just got a new printer. How often do I need to replace the print heads?
Well, under normal conditions, each head lasts about 5,000 copies or so. It depends on the user, but about once a month is average.
So if I don't print out very much, it could last a lot longer.
That's right. It could last 6 months or more. This model's designed for heavy use. Don't worry. You'll get an error message telling you when to change the head.
Common problems.
What sort of problems do you have with these machines?
They're quite complex machines, and they have a lot of different components. We need to check the metal casing regularly for any signs of corrosion. We also check the brushes once a fortnight to make sure they aren't worn down. It's important to make sure everything is properly aligned, and we adjust it if necessary. There is a canvas belt at the end of the assembly line. If it gets wet, it might rot, so we check that regularly too.
Jobs to do.
Hi, Xavier. I'd like to go over the list of jobs for next week's maintenance shut.
Sure. We've got a lot to do in a short time. We're planning to shut the line at midday on Wednesday and start up again at 6 p.m. the following day. We might need to extend the shut by about 6 hours.
Our production people won't be happy about that. We've got a full order book at the moment. Is there any way you could speed things up?
Not really. We need to dismantle the conveyor belt and replace the rollers.
Class, thank you for letting me know that the audio is cutting in and out. Like I said earlier, we'll just continue. We're just going to move on with listening as we have planned. But later, before before mag-quiz kay tagaan ta mo og anyway, don't worry kay discuss man sad nako ang audio. So just for your sake sa inyohang quiz, I will upload the video, the audios, and then so you can listen it on your own and then close it by 8 p.m. Are we good na? Please don't make me repeat.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes.
So you will open the audio together with the quiz, right?
Yes.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
I will give you time to open the link. And then kay understand na magwi late kay hinay daw di kayo lang internet. So supposedly dili man gid na siya, pero syempre we would understand kay not everyone is on the same boat. So na maghihinay ang connection, so ana ginang mahulog yun mag-answer mo nga na audio kay i-share mo gid nako kay na may wala nakapaminaw kaganiha. So ana gid ang life dili man gid ta dapat yes na lang ganern. Okay. Third audio.
Preventive maintenance.
There have been too many unplanned shutdowns over the past few months. We'll have to make a few changes to the way we operate. We need to reduce our downtime.
I agree, but the maintenance team is fully stretched dealing with problems. We don't have time to carry out any preventive maintenance.
We need to establish routine maintenance procedures. It costs us too much in lost production if we wait until something breaks down before we fix it.
Discussing frequency.
How often do you service the pump?
We take very good care of this particular pump. It's a crucial part of our process. We clean it and flush it through at the end of every shift. We check the high-pressure seals, recalibrate the gauges, and lubricate all moving parts weekly. We replace the gaskets every month.
How do you decide how often these things need to be done?
Well, from experience, we can predict the lifespan of different components. We try to replace components before they fail or wear out. This prevents the equipment from breaking down. It also saves us a lot of trouble.
Regular services.
This is our main service area. We do all the routine services here and have 2 full-time mechanics.
How often do you service the vans?
They're serviced regularly. We give them a basic service every 10,000 kilometres or so, and a main service once a year, or every 100,000 kilometres.
I see. What does the service involve?
Well, the same as for private vehicles, really, but we do it more often because they get a lot of wear and tear.
Can you carry out major repairs here?
Yes, we've got all the necessary equipment. We can give the engines a major overhaul. If there's a serious problem, we strip down the engine and find the faulty component. Would you like to look around?
Non-urgent repairs.
What do you do if you find something that isn't on your list?
It depends what it is. Once we have disconnected the unit, we do as many jobs as we can. If there is something that isn't broken but might cause a problem before the next service, then of course we repair it or replace that part. But if it's not urgent, we make a note in the service record to carry out that repair next time.
Okay. So, putol-putol gyapon, I assume, right?
Sa ako, ma'am, wala na putol, ma'am.
Wala ra kayo. Okay. So anyway, let's move on. I will deep dive the conversations. So that was, those were conversations that usually, or those are just example dialogues in the workplace talking about maintenance. So there was a line there, I'm not sure if you got them, but there was a line there that says someone has reported a fault. So note the expression to report a fault. So fault here would mean a problem, right? So it doesn't mean na fault kay sala na dayan. It's just, some problem in, I don't know, in electrical, or I'm not sure. So fault would mean a minor problem. And then, by the way, okay na ako ang kuan? Ako ang video? Or wala gihapon?
Yes, ma'am. Okay na.
Okay na ba? Makita ko ninyo?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
Ako ang side, dili ma'am.
Lagi, buang maning Zoom. Anyway, ang importante na ako dire. Sige. Anyway, so there. So there was also a line there that says, when was it serviced? So service, as a word, it could be a noun and a verb at the same time. So you can say it is serviced regularly, then that would mean it's a verb, right? But if you say we carry out regular services, so service here would function as a noun. So the point here is, if we use the term service or any other terms, there are some terms that can be both a noun and a verb. You just have to learn when to use them appropriately, of course. And then there was also a line there that says it's usually very reliable. So the opposite of reliable is unreliable. So when in English language, when you talk about a certain word, the opposite, there are also words that the opposite is just by adding the prefix "un." So from reliable, then you can just say unreliable. When you use not reliable, it's still correct, but politically incorrect. That would mean that there is a more suitable word for that. So even if you say, dili kayo na siya reliable, or in English, he is not reliable, somehow that's still correct, but there is an more appropriate term than not reliable, and that is unreliable. So the point here is that make sure that when you use the English language, you use the more appropriate terms, especially if you are already in the workplace. Other expressions, aside or to mean reliable or unreliable, you can say we rarely have any problems with it. So rarely would mean not frequent or not always. And then you can also say it generally runs very smoothly. So when you talk about in a general or a common truth, you use the word generally there. Questions so far? You notice that the forms of the verbs, the forms of the verbs runs. You see here, it generally runs very smoothly. Runs, so that doesn't mean that it's plural. I know that you're already third year and fourth year, and grammar-wise, most of you got higher scores man sad. But as a teacher, I've learned not to assume. Because before I assumed that, because I'm teaching college students already, they know the difference already if the verb has an S or does not have an S. So, nasayop dayon ko. So, I've learned my mistake before. So, I make sure that everything is crystal clear without me assuming. So, when we use S in a verb, that would mean that, what? Your noun is singular. So we go back to your noun or your subject, which is it. So because your subject is singular, your verb becomes or has an S. Okay, so it generally runs very smoothly. But if I use the subject they, then the sentence would be they generally run very smoothly. You get what I mean now? So the form of your verb actually depends on it depends on your subject. So the number of subject, if singular, then there is S. If plural in a subject, then there is no S. Everyone got that crystal clear? Yes?
Yes, ma'am. Very clear.
Very good. Thank you. So there was also a line there in the dialogue that says a minor fault. So minor, as we all know it, would mean small or unimportant. The opposite is major or serious fault. So when you go to your workplace in the nearest future and you talk about something that's there's a problem or there is, something that you would want to report, diba, I think the easiest term that you would say, okay, we have a problem, right? That's I think is the quickest word to use. But actually you can just say, we have a minor fault or we have a major or serious fault or something like that. So you can use the term fault in place of problems or issues because I think that would imply murag serious na rin ka pang say problem ka murag ay problem gid siya dako gid siya or you get what I mean. So just to level down the intensity of the issue, maybe sa imuhang machine or sa sa inyuhang department. So you can just say there's a minor fault or there's something that I found out. It's actually very minor fault or issue, something like that. There was also there in the dialogue that says, I'll have a look at it. So, by the way, when you were, I know nga ang uban kinagputol-putol, but I also know nga na uban nga wala nagputol-putol ang audio sa ilaha. So, I hope that you were practicing this at home while listening. So, how do you, by the way, say that sentence, the sample, not really sample because this was taken from the dialogue. How do you say this? I'll have a look at it. Would you say it like that, class?
What was that, ma'am?
My question is the sentence ba? How do you say this? If you are to say this sentence, this sample sentence, how do you say that? I mean, not really. There. That's what I meant. Thank you. Thank you for speaking up. So there. Most Filipinos, and I'm not saying that this is wrong, especially in sentences where there is, we call them phrasal verbs. Phrasal verbs are actually verbs that is accompanied by a preposition. So look is a verb and at is a preposition. So put them together, look at. So when you for phrasal verbs, by the way, class, they are, like what I mentioned earlier, they are verbs added with preposition. And then they create a whole new word that would mean very different from their original forms. Think of another phrasal verbs. Sige daw. Verb, preposition. Look down, look up, or settle down, right? What else? Give me other examples of phrasal verbs.
Come in.
Come in, yes, thank you. What else? Look around. Ang look pa lang daan nga verb kay daghan kina siya og phrasal forms, phrasal preposition forms. Okay. Look around, look at, look down, look up, look in. Isa pa?
Hop on.
Hop on, yes. Other phrasal verbs. Anyone else? Phrasal verbs, the reason why I'm sharing this to you It's because phrasal verbs are very important, especially if imong client kay dili lang taga Cagayan, especially kung imong client kay butang ta mga Koreans or Japanese or Americans or British, kana mga international na gid imong company that you work for. It's important that you also use phrasal verbs from time to time. And I'm sure gayus pud gid mo ani, you just didn't know what it was called, right? So there, phrasal verbs other than hop on or look up or what else? Come on, speak up na. Get out. Yes. Mr. Hayong, anong i-chat man? Wala kay audio?
Call for.
Sorry?
Call for.
Yes, called for. What else? By the way, for phrasal verbs, there is also a different form of that. You can also use the past tense. So like what your classmate has just mentioned, called for. Pwede siya call for. Pwede po siya called for. Just make sure nga ang iyahang tense kay ang malahi kay ang verb lang. Okay? So, looked at. Dili siya look atted. Okay, that's very funny. Pero I had some students before nga dito sila nag-past tense sa preposition. No, it should be within the verb. So what else? Nay very common. Kalimut ko. Basta nay common nga. There. No. Mali di, no. Anyway, go. What else? Any other phrasal verbs that you can think of? Wala na? So, push through.
Actually,
yes, thank you. Calm down. Yes. Thank you so much. There. So, what I'm trying to get into is that when you say something, say or read in this case, katong kaganiyan nangutan ako sa inyo ha, how do you say this sentence, especially if it involves phrasal verbs? Do not say them or do not pronounce them separately. So you don't really say come down. You say come down, right? Or look at, or look up. You don't say look up. You get my point? So going back to my question earlier, how do you say the sentence? You'll say, I'll have a look at it. So look at it. Mura siya ba one word. You don't say, I'll have a look at it. So practice this at home, okay? Especially again, if your sentence involves a phrasal verb, you have to say them as if murag wala siya space in between, as if they're just one word. Because again, they are phrasal verb and they are meant to be spoken as one. Because if you speak them separately, they will make a different meaning. You get my point? Okay, so you say, I'll have a look at it. Dili siya look at it. We can also say, I'll check it. You don't say, I'll check it. No, kahilom, baka ayo, ay. Mm-hmm.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Yes,
thank
ma'am.
you.
Yes, ma'am. Gets na, ma'am.
Okay. I know that you get it. I just want to, because I can't see you. Most of you, dili man gid mag-turn on silang cameras. So the safest way is for me to hear you say something. Either wow or mauba or something, If I could see your faces, but di man mo mag-turn on. Lisod kayo pangasab-anta mo na may uban dili mag-turn on. So, okay, just say something. Okay. Next, there was also a line there that said, this model is designed for heavy use. So this sentence, this models, what do you notice? There is an apostrophe after model, right?
Yes,
So for apostrophe, by the way, guys, mostly they are for, they would mean in possession. So you say, Sam's Eatery or SM's, I don't know, or Limkit Kai's car or something like that. So there is a possession. So, but sometimes an apostrophe does not mean possession. It means that it is actually a contraction. Contraction would be gicontract ang two words into one. So this sentence is actually, this model is designed for heavy use. But the writer actually contracted two words, model and is. That's why nahimo siyang models. Pero kani siya nga sentence dili would mean possession. Dili siya inay ownership. Wala, dili, mali na siya. So, because again, this is English for specific purposes. So, from time to time, I will have to inject, grammar and inana. Pero I hope that you will also take note of that. Okay, I know gilesson this inyo when you were in first year, right? But lahi man gutong first year. I've also handled first year students before, and this was not something that they were very particular to learn, especially when you just started college and you don't really see the point of learning English, right? But here, since third year, fourth year, or fifth year na gyud, so it's important that you also review your grammar. Okay, so the opposite of heavy use is light use. Very easy. So you can say it is only designed for light use. Questions so far? None? Let's proceed.
None.
Okay. So there was a line there, or there was a phrase that says complex machines. So complex would mean complicated or has many parts. So when you say complex, I think the quickest word that we use usually is difficult, right? It's a very difficult machine. But actually, you can use terms complex or complicated. So the opposite of that would be simple or basic. There was also a line there that says once a fortnight. Who here would say that this is the first time that they've heard of the word fortnight? Not the game, but to use fortnight. No, not the first time. Well, not first time. Okay, so fortnight means it is a period of 2 weeks. So you can actually say, or you could say once every 2 weeks, or once every other week, or bi-weekly. Assembly line. So assembly line means it is a production line where products are put together from different parts. So you can say, I work in the assembly line, or I work for the assembly line department. So there, instead of you just, using the word production or production space or production area, you can actually just say assembly line. Next, there was a phrase there that said we might need to extend the shut. So shut here means it's a production shutdown. So instead of you just using the word close, you can actually just say shut. And then extend, of course, we know this, something to mean make longer or to, give more time. Speed things up. So here, speed things up is as good as saying faster. So the opposite is slow things down. So instead of you just simply say faster, you can just say speed up, right? So that's another example of phrasal verb, speed up. You don't say speed up, you say speed up. Okay, next. There was a phrase there that said we need to reduce our downtime. So downtime means it's a production line is shut because of a problem. So reduce would mean to what? To make something lessen or cut or something like that. So there. There was a phrase there that says the maintenance team is fully stretched. So fully stretched, you can use this when you mean everyone is working at full capacity and unable to do any more work. Ato ang pinaka usual na to ngayon kay busy. The maintenance team is busy or super busy. So there are actually other terms that you can use. You can say fully stretched. So fully stretched again is everyone is busy. So there. There's also a phrase there that said we need to establish routine maintenance procedures. So you note on the use of the word establish. So that would mean set up. Set up is another example of phrasal verb. So again, you don't say set up, you say set up. Because again, it's a phrasal verb and it is meant to be said or pronounced as one. If dili manggali gyud as one, naalang gyud very gamay lang gyud like half a second. Ganawa lang gamay set up. Dili gyud siya tong set up or di punto tong set up. Nalay gamay nga space. So you can say they're going to set up a preventive maintenance schedule. So there. The keywords are establish or set up. It's a crucial part of our process. So crucial means essential or vital, or the easiest or the quickest word that we use as Filipinos is important, right? So you see how we're doing this class. We're actually listening, and then we are dissecting the phrases that we or you supposed to heard. You were supposed to hear kaganiha, but since naamagi connection problems. So there, we're actually dissecting, and then notice that the phrases that we are presenting here are actually useful phrases that you can use in the nearest future. Dili lang tong very common English ang inyohang gamiton. Okay, so I hope that you are taking this down. Yes? Okay, so it's a crucial part of our process. So crucial means essential, vital, or important. There was also a line there in the conversation that said, recalibrate the gauges. So the recalibrate, you notice that the prefix re is actually or would mean again, right? So calibrate calibrate itself is already a word, and it means to measure, right? So instead of you just saying let's measure again, you can just say recalibrate, or you can use the word reset or reassemble or reuse. So just use the prefix re to mean again. Pero definitely dili ang recalibrate again, because re already means again, tas mag-ingon pag yung kag again, so that's double dead already. So here, another is we can predict the lifespan. So lifespan would mean for how long a component or a piece of equipment will work. So you already know that. Predict, in a word, this is something that we don't, usually or normally say in conversations, right? What do we usually say if we mean predict? I can't tell, right? I'm not sure. But actually, you can use the term predict. I cannot predict there. So, diba? Bongga ang dating. Next, we try to replace components before they fail or wear out. So again, the word wear out is actually a phrasal verb, and you don't say that as wear out. You say it as one. So if a component or machine fails, it breaks down. So the noun is failure. You can say our communication system has failed, or there's been a power failure. So in your case, there's an internet failure. Ma'am, I'm sorry, I'm late tonight because there has been an internet failure, or my internet connection has failed. Ganon, diba? Dili lang tong ma'am hinay or wala. Or you can use the term intermittent. Next, once we have disconnected the unit, so disconnect would mean undo the connection. Other example of the prefix dis is disengaged, which would mean that it is not in position, and then dislodged, which would mean that you move it from one position to another. So you see, disengage or dislodge, these are terms that we don't normally use. Siguro disconnect is very common. So instead of using easily the word disconnected, we can actually use other terms like disengage or dislodge there. Let's have the quiz. I will give you, it's 6:45, so you have until 8 o'clock tonight. You have, turn on your camera speaker since di man mo gapaning mo. Turn on camera so I can see you. Thank you. Okay. Thank you so much. Okay. So i-mute sa tamotanan ha. Please mute yourself para di ko magkuan. Okay. So from here on, quiz time naman ta. So what will happen is I will share you the links to the audio file so you can listen them yourself. And then I will also give you the link for the quiz. So nanana sa inyo ha if you will listen with or without the audio. But both will be closed at exactly 8 p.m. Yes? Are we in agreement on this one? Say yes, please, or nod.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
thank you. Thank you. The first link I will be posting on the group chat is the link to the second quiz. Second quiz na siya, everyone. Baby, mommy's having a class. I will then post the link to the second quiz para katong wala ka human kaganiha or katong late, maka-answer pa.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes.
Last quiz for this, kuha na ni ma'am meeting.
Yes. Just about
Okay,
to
ma'am.
say goodbye na ko. Please, kaning mga nasa chat nga mga links, please copy them there on your PC or somewhere. Kay mag-say goodbye naman ta. Ha? Yeah. Allowed lang dayon mo mag-answer until 8 p.m. So, naamoy time. So,
Thank you,
copy
ma'am.
them. Copy, please. So, first, kanang first na ko nga gi-post mo ng second quiz. Ang first quiz kanang ikaduha. And then now, I will give you the links for the audio.
Okay, ma'am.
I-copy, please, on your koan.
Murag wala, di mo na-post, ma'am, ang link pa.
Angon sa man. Ay, hala. Sorry, wait. Hold on 1 second. Wanna let post again. Thank you. So this is the first quiz. For those katong late or what na human ganiha, this is second quiz. Wait lang ha. I'm working on the audio karon. Links for audio files. There are 6 audio files. The first 3, kanang activity 1, 2, and 3, mo na siyang katong sa first quiz. And then listening 4, 5, 6, kay sa second quiz na siya. Were you able to copy all the links now? At 7, I will dismiss you. If you have no other issues with me or questions or concerns, you may go now. You have until 8 p.m. to answer. Yes.
Kanang about sa quiz 1, ma'am ba? Wala pinakasulod ganina, ma'am.
Yeah. So ato na siyang i-open karon. I will close all of them by 8 p.m. Other issues. I-try daw refresh ang link sa first quiz kung available na ba.
Available na, ma'am.
Okay, good. Anyone else? Other issues, other concerns? Everything will be closed down by 8, ha? So make sure you do it before then. Goodbye. Thank